Hi guys, it's Nancy here and I'm back with another process video for you which accompanies this layout, which is up on the Hey Little Magpie blog this month, which is June. I've used a selection of Bella Boulevard papers, which is a real fun challenge actually, because they're quite a whimsical kind of paper line which have some more cartoony elements, so I had real fun having a play with those. If you check back a couple of videos, you will see where I ran through all the papers that I was using, and I've also done lots of die cuts. I've done another binge session on my Cameo. Me and my Cameo are friends again now, which is kind of cool, and I've got lots of plans to use things up, and most scrapbook pages you're seeing at the moment have Cameo cuts on, so that has been inspiring as well. But I'm not going to have all of mine like that, but I am enjoying kind of having a little bit of a play. So I cut up this really cool yarn ball here. I've just backed that on some of the pink paper, which I'm using to mount up the whole layout as well. And I'm going to be scrapping one photo on here, which is a picture of me knitting some socks sitting on my caravan steps down near the beach. And I just wanted to kind of record this moment because it was so peaceful. I was sitting there, I could hear the sea in the distance, but it'd been a really stressful week at work, and it'd been hot, but it wasn't too hot, and it was just really, really nice. So I wanted to capture that and how I'm enjoying being at the caravan more and just being in my own company and just chilling. So yeah, I took the cut apart papers here. These are from the Secrets of the Sea, and there's a boy and a girl collection. And so I've cut up bits from both of those because they all work really well together. This is a piece from the Addison collection. These are some border strips. Again, all the colours with Bella Boulevard work really well intermixed. So I've really enjoyed kind of looking at how I can use these all together. So I'm going to mount my photo up. I use this on my Captain Calamari layout, this paper. And even though it's kind of like splash sort of wave effect, it looks really fine because you can't really see it too much. So I'm just going to play about where I'm going to put this yarn ball, and I quite like how it kind of just goes off the edge there, but I don't want it to float too much. So I'm going to use that piece of the Addison border paper to just help that kind of settle in. And as I said, I'm going to use some really simple kind of boxy layers. This is something I used to do kind of like 3 or 4 years ago, you know, kind of just build up those boxes first, and then you can build layers on top. So I really like how that came together. And it's really quite quick and simple. So I've kind of got how my basics are going to go. And then I now want to add some background texture on here as well. So I'm going to actually use some inks to do that with. But I just kind of want to have my basic kind of layout sorted. I do like scrapping these single photos on layouts when there's kind of that really kind of busy big thing, because I really want that yarn ball to be like the biggest kind of element on here, and it really, really pops. So I'm kind of happy with how that placement is, and some of those layers I'm really not going to show too much, but the colours just work so fab together, so I thought they would all work pretty well. So I'm going to take some of the inks, and I'm actually going to use this neon ink, which is a Hero Arts one, which I've had forever. I've had a really long time, and it's still super, super juicy, and the colours are so cool and amazing. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use another Hero Arts one as well. These have kind of been sat on my desk a little bit neglected, but I'm going to get them out on here. And I'm going to use these Vicky Boutain stencils. I did use this stencil here, which is really hard to see. This is a really old Studio Calico one, which I started to build up some texture with using the Hero Arts shadow ink. But I'm then going to pull out, the Vicky Boutain ones, which are these really kind of great sort of almost like crazy paving is what they remind me of. And as you can see here, I'm kind of blending those two colours together, the pinks and the blues, and I really like how this is, and it just creates a really nice effect. So it doesn't really go particularly with the layout or anything like that, but I just kind of like how it looks. So I'm then going to pull in another one of these, and I like that there's a sort of gradiated size on these stencils, so you've got the bigger hexagons and then the smaller hexagons. So these are the most recent stencils I've bought. I've cut a few out on my Cameo, which I'm planning to use, and especially as I'm trying to get back into this texture in the background. So I'm really happy with how that looks, and I think actually that would look pretty fab on a plainer piece of paper as well. But we all know plain paper, white cardstock especially, brings fear into my heart, so I tend not to use it too much. Of course, I'm adding some mists over top. It wouldn't be a layout without Route 66, and at the moment some highly swapped teal. They seem to be appearing more and more. So I'm just popping those up on my layout, and said I really love how that texture came out, so it looks really, really cool. I'm then going to take some of that acrylic mist spray that I spoke about in my last layout and just add a little bit of that on there. And that's a really nice dark blue colour, so it's going to make the rest of the blue on there really, really pop. So yeah, just adding that and a mixture. I think I added some teal mist on there as well, and I really love that background. So now I'm going to start adding my layers back on top, and of course always when you do this things change around slightly, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. I really like that pink polka dot in there, just sitting everything on top of that. Just helps ground the layer. And I'm happy with bits going off the side as well, because I think that works pretty well. So I'm just sticking these bits down, and again not really paying much attention to where I do it, so I'm having to peel stuff off, and you know what it's like. So super happy with how this has all come together. As I said, and I like, I plan it and then I can kind of come back to it. So I did just chop that down a little bit so it didn't go across the whole piece of paper. I'm going to have that black bit of yarn sort of going off the side as well, so that's going to kind of lead your eye a little bit off that page. So I'm just going to stick all these bits down, and then I'm going to pop my photo down, and I didn't even bother putting any 3D foam or anything on there because I think it kind of has got that texture behind it. So again, I'm just going to add a little piece in here at the side. Again, this is from the Addison collection, and I really like how it just brings all those colour tones in, but it's a different pattern. And then just added some more mist over those layers as well. I want to bring a little bit of black over to that other side. So I have these pieces which were from a bigger floral sort of die cut, which didn't cut 100%. It's a very fine die cut, and I hadn't changed my blade at this point. I did change my blade halfway through doing these cutouts, and so it did tear a little bit. So it's no problem because I've managed to use it on a couple of places on this layout. And instead, that's just a little scallop border, and I'm going to bring in a floral piece as well. So I'm just using my scalloped punch here, and I'm going to punch a couple of little circles out to build some button clusters on. And I'm going to do the same as what I've done on my last one, so I'm going to cut out a couple of little hearts, no, not hearts, stars, and just mount them on the scallop paper, and then put the button and sew the button over them. Pardon me. I really do love those buttons, and said it's a really just easy, cute embellishment. And of course you could put anything behind them. They work really well, so you could just use a piece of pattern paper if you wished. So I'm just sticking another little piece of that tribal paper down, just so that button's got something to sit on. I'm not doing a 3 because I think that yarn ball kind of looks like another circular element, so there's then 3 circular elements on the layout. I'm going to stick some gems around as well. I really love these gems. The colours are super bright and fun. So again, I'm just sticking those around again in a little cluster of 3. Just using my pokey tool to stab through on those 2 parts, because it's just easier than then trying to shove your needle through sort of 3 or 4 layers of paper. I'm then just going to use some black thread just to sew those through, and I just sew it through a couple of times just to secure them on the page. So this is another piece of that floral die cut, which I'm just going to cut apart. And say I end up using one floral piece here and then a leaf on another part. And I said it's a super pretty die cut, but I think I made it a little bit too small, especially as my needle was blunt. My blade on my cameo was blunt, so it really didn't work too well. But yeah, I really like how that's just that flower down there just adds a little something. And as I said, these are all done from the American Crafts black smooth cardstock. And as it's like, you know, the grass and stuff like that, I think, you know, the florals just add a little bit of that theme to it. So as I said, I'm super happy how that looks. I'm going to just glue that down onto the background. And again, I could of course mounted this in pink, if in black if I wanted, and that would have just carried on that black a little bit more. But I decided no, to leave it as is. I'm just taking some of my Nuvo drops, and this is in the crystal clear and or the glittery clear, and just putting a few little dots around, and I'm going to do the same with the teal, and then again that just adds a little bit more texture to that inking. And I said, I really am enjoying the Nuvo drops that I've got, and I'm lucky that they're kind of going with a lot of the layers and stuff that I'm using at the moment, so I'm super happy with how that's come out. So I'm super happy with how that looks, and then the last thing to do is just add my title. And I'm just using this gold glittery font. Again, they're a smaller font, and just put my happy place over that yarn ball. And I just think it's just going to tie everything in together, and I love how the spangly gold goes with the pinks as well. It just brings everything together on this page. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how this layout's come together. As I said, I really like how it's all come out, and I said that really black dynamic die cut. Last thing I'm going to do is take a couple of these hearts, and these are the white puffy hearts, and just add those into the 2 or 3 places on the layout. So it's just going to bring everything together wonderfully. So I want to thank you very much, guys, for watching this video and supporting my channel. Please do like and comment below and subscribe if you haven't already. So thank you very much, guys, and I will speak to you all again very soon. Bye!